What's up guys? For today's video, I got something pretty cool I'm really excited to show you. Since I've got my new kayak, I wanted to come up with a good way of transporting it that doesn't take up my entire truck bed. The reason for that is that I've got a trip coming up in a couple weeks and I'm gonna need to pack the back of my truck with luggage. So I'm trying to find a way on how I can bring my kayak with me without taking up storage space. So I searched online and I found a really cool solution that I think is gonna work for this perfectly. Now, if there's one thing I need to update on this truck, it's the back cover. As you can see, it is literally peeling apart. On the underside here, it's got these crossbars that are supposed to be stitched into the top, and they are not connected on some of them anymore. So this entire setup just needs to go. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing and installation of the RealTruck truck bed cover, along with an additional accessory that is going to give me so much extra space in the truck bed and make transporting multiple kayaks that much easier. Let's jump into it. All right, so the first thing that I need to do is figure out how to get this old truck bed cover off. I didn't install this myself. It seems to be held on with these clamp brackets here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a wrench, zip these off, and see if that loosens up this whole system. Okay, not bad. I'm gonna keep them connected. That way I can do something with all this hardware at the end. Looks like it's just the 3 clamps holding the whole system on. If so, that would be really nice. Oh, very nice. Just comes right off. There we go. So with those off, this is the perfect time to clean up my side rails here. This could also just use a little bit of protectant. Just going to be using some Seal and Shine. This is the perfect way to bring the gloss back on the outside here and just give it a quick cleaning. Now that we got the old one uninstalled, let's go ahead and take this one out and see how the installation is for this one. Hopefully it's not much different. All right, looks like we gotta fire up a QR code here in order to get the installation instructions. But so far it looks pretty similar. We've got 2 rails and then the cover. We have the hardware kit, so that's good. And I don't see anything else inside this box, so let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Okay, so I just got done watching the video. This is really straightforward. We're going to be lining up and clamping down the side rails. We're going to be using the gasket tape here to seal off the front of the bed. That way we don't get any water intrusion there. These are actually drain tubes, so I'll be able to attach these to the channels and allow water to drain from the channels down the side of the bed and onto the ground. These here lock the truck bed cover itself to the rails once they're installed. These are bumper guards for when the cover is resting against your glass. They're designed to be rested against your back window, so this provides some protection for that. And this is just spare parts if we need it. Okay, so now at this point, we need to install the top clamp. We've got the pointed side here is going to come up in place, and you can kind of feel when it starts to grab, and then right towards the end, push it down, and it locks in place. When you have this part installed to the front of the rail, this back's receiver actually sits into this bottom slot. So if this is the rail, this actually comes in from behind and then sits into that bottom channel. I guess it can go in either one, depending on the distance that it needs to travel, but yeah, that's how it clamps together. And then this top part grabs onto your truck bed. Okay, so that's loosely in place. Do the same thing for this side. Again, this bottom piece slots into that channel. Could probably remove this since we have this back clamp on now. This one I'm going to slide down to about, I'd say about right there. pretty much center, I'd say. I'll move the kickstand out of the way. So now just a couple things we got to double check and do before this gets tightened down. The first is going to be our drain plug. So as I mentioned, there's a drain tube right here. We're going to go ahead and slot this into it. For the other side, it might be a little easier to put this drain plug in before your clamps are on. Okay, and then it's going to slot down into here. And there we go. They did mention that you could trim this, but I kind of like it how it routes the water all the way down. So it doesn't just hit inside here and then start spraying around. This will keep the drain going all the way down. All right, so now we have our clamp in place. We're gonna make sure we're pushed all the way back. You want a good seal between this and the back of your truck bed. We want it in place all the way up. Once that looks good, we can tighten this down. And I'm pretty happy with the center location here. So again, just holding it in place. Tighten that down. And then finally, the backside one. I am gonna move this one up some. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now this rail is in place. I'm gonna go ahead and close the kickstand so it's out of the way. And then now before I throw the other side rail on, I'm also gonna do the weather stripping for the back. So this weather stripping is going to go along this back rail here. You want it as close as you can to the interior of the truck bed. That way, when the rubber flap of the actual cover falls on top, it's making a really good seal with a little bit of a gap between the front and the back. You don't want to put it on the back side, you want to put it on the front side. Now this is a piece that you're going to have to trim to fit. So you want to make sure that when you start it, it's all the way to the edge up here, right up against that plastic. Then now once we get it to the other side here, and we're going to trim it off right at the end. Now, there's just a couple things we got to do to prep the cover before it actually gets installed and clamped into place. The first thing we're going to do is access these screw holes. Okay. And that is where we're going to install our clip receivers. Each receiver is going to get installed with a couple parts. Before we put that down, we're going to use a piece of gasket material to keep this waterproofed. And then to actually install it, there's going to be a post that comes from the underside of the bed, like that. And then the screw is going to come down from the top side into the post. All right, so first things first, I'm going to get the gasket installed. So I'm going to put the sticky side up, line it up with the holes. And now that should be good. So now we're going to put our bottom post in. Going to hold that in place while I screw in the one. Just going to go ahead and finish tightening this down now that I know it's on the correct side, the correct direction. I'm going to get the other one installed, then we can start getting this truck bed cover fit into place and clamped down. Okay, so last but not least, the last set of bed cover prep we need to do are these clamps. These are the clamps that are actually going to lock this into the channels. We're going to loosen up the carriage bolt here. Right there looks good. Now there's a carriage bolt section and a tab. This is going to slide into this channel facing towards the outside of the cover. So we're going to slide in from the back with the channel. And then that's just going to be lightly tightened down because this is going to then be untightened, put under the channel of the side rails, and then tightened down to lock this cover in place. Now we're going to open it up, see if it fits in place. Good. So to unlock it, there's like a grab wire here. Just pull that, opens up nice and easy. Going to close the tailgate. See how it sits. Okay, so with everything looking squared up, we have to carefully open and retract back the lid. Okay, so now the carriage bolt clamp here, I'm going to slide that all the way forward till it locks into the track and then just tighten it up. Okay. As you can see, the cover is built to rest on the glass here. So we're going to be installing these rubber bumpers where it does to make sure that everything is nice and safe. And the only thing we need to do for that, use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the attachment points to clear off any contaminants, so we get a nice good connection with the automotive tape. So just to line this up and make sure this works. Yep. We make contact. Yeah, right here. Okay. Okay, just gently put it in, make sure it hits. Looks good. I'm going to use the cover itself to push it down. And then now for just some precaution, we're going to do the edges as well. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put them pretty close to one another here, because there is no chance of these edges contacting because the cab curves in on this truck. So even with bouncing, it's not even going to come close. So I'm just going to extend this middle section here, just to give the section that will make contact the best guard it can get. All right, and so with that, the truck bed cover is installed and looks excellent. There's a lever right here, like a wire. You pull that to unlock it. It unlocks both sides. Come through. Same thing for each section. It locks itself all the way down, which is nice. And finally, all the way up. So if we look there, there's bumpers on the top. That slides onto the glass and rests nicely. And then we have the kickstands, which come up from each side. Lock into this channel track here. And then that keeps this in the upright position if you need to run your bed open. Otherwise, this just slides open back into its holder. You can see on the other side where that one is. And you'll hear it click each section. There's 1, 2, and finally 3. We have a good seal all around. We got weather stripping, we got drain channels. This is an awesome bed cover. Also, pretty sure this is aluminum panel, so that's gonna hold up really well. I'm not gonna worry about it rusting. It's gonna have much more rigidity and protection. It's not just like a vinyl bed cover that can be cut with a blade and then accessed. This is very, very secure. Now in the next video, I'm going to be installing the RealTruck Elevate Rack System. This is a super innovative way of installing a carrying rack for a variety of things. But my plan is to combine the Elevate Rack System with the T-channels on this bed cover here, which is unique to this cover specifically, which is why I was really excited to get this from RealTruck, along with one other part that should make my kayaking life so much easier. So make sure you keep an eye out for the next video where I get the Elevate system installed along with my mystery piece that's gonna make taking this kayak out on the water much, much easier.